and welcome to From the Top Rope, episode 12, hosted by me, Robbie Fox, and my co-host, Jared Carrabis, my tag team partner, I've been calling you.
Yeah.
And also joining us is All Business Pete. He's in the room checking the levels for us right now. Doesn't realize that he's a part of the show now. How you doing, Pete?
Yep, I actually had my mic turned off because I did not expect to talk.
Oh, no, you don't understand. See, in the world of pro wrestling, the audience plays a factor.
Right.
Okay.
And you never know what's going to happen in pro wrestling either.
Correct.
So.
You never know. So
I
it's
was
like
not handed my script prior to today's show.
Have you ever heard of Kurt Angle?
Yes.
Okay, so he was an Olympic gold medalist, and he was in the
won the medal with a broken freaking neck.
Yes, he did do that. He was in the audience, and he made his debut by just coming out of the audience, and next thing you know, he's a Hall of Famer. So you could be a Hall of Famer in the wrestling podcast world.
Could I replace both of you?
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, wrestling, you know, the guard changes. You're a little bit older, so it's tough on the body.
Yeah. He could be like DDP, late entry.
Yeah. You know DDP, Diamond Dallas Page? He does yoga now.
Good for him. And again, I've heard the name, and I'm going to need a lot of steroids.
Okay. Oh,
I don't know that he took steroids.
Back
maybe
in the
they all
day,
did.
it was
Yeah.
a little more lenient.
Yeah.
So this is From the Top Rope. Pete is usually not the host. Don't turn your fucking mic down. Keep your mic on. If I want to talk to you, I'm going to talk to you.
I'm going to leave.
You could follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Our dude Nick Bono runs that at From the Top. We left out the rope there because Twitter and Instagram didn't allow that.
He killed it this week.
He did kill it. He kills it every week. He's a fucking baller. You can subscribe to us on iTunes. Leave us a 5-star review. You've been sending us the reviews. Last week was we didn't get that many. I don't like that. The week before, we got a lot. So we need you to send us your reviews. It makes us laugh, makes us retweet, do all that shit. We're on maybe Stitcher, maybe Spotify. Pete, do you know if we're on all this stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
We are?
But Apple Podcast is, I think, the best.
Apple Podcast is the best, but we're on all the other stuff, too. We're on everything you could possibly be on. Now, let's get into the show. Pete is shaking his head. You don't know if we're on Spotify or Stitcher?
I don't know. I hope we are.
I hope we are, too.
That'd be great.
I mean, I didn't put us on there, but people have been saying, many people are saying, that we are on these things.
Yep.
All right. You got to stay in here for the first news topic, actually, of the week, because after much controversy, the WWE has made an official ban on beach balls at events. Now, let me give you a little backstory. Fans would bring beach balls to events, and during matches they didn't care about, or sometimes during matches they did care about.
It was a good match.
Great match. At SummerSlam, we saw Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose versus Sheamus and Cesaro. They just started hitting the beach ball. The crowd wasn't paying attention to the match. They were paying attention to the beach ball, cheering. That's what the crowd sounds like. I fucking hate this, Pete. There's nothing in the world I hate more than when people go, buy tickets to see wrestling, and they watch a beach ball instead of the wrestling. These people are putting their lives, their bodies on the line for my entertainment, and people are watching a fucking beach ball instead. So WWE said, cut it out, no more beach balls, and I cannot commend the move more.
How are they going to prevent that from happening?
I don't know.
They can't.
But they can, because now it's like if you bring a beach ball, of course you could get it in, but you'll get kicked out.
How are you? Who's going to rat out the guy that blows up a beach ball and just like pops it?
Me, every single time.
That's absurd.
Are you pro beach ball?
I'm not pro beach ball. I'm just anti ratting people out for blowing up a beach ball.
No, I'll rat him out right away.
You have an option. I mean, it's not like if you blow up a beach ball and you start bopping it around, you have the option to just continue to watch the match.
No, but yeah, I have the option, and I always do continue to watch the match. But the crowd just distracts me with their stupid fucking reactions.
So then you just have poor focus. You need to work on that. That's on you.
No, I don't think it is.
It is. I didn't even really notice. I saw the beach ball and I was like, oh, beach ball, okay. And I kept watching the match. It didn't even deter from my attention for a single fucking second.
No, but what about your boy, your fucking man toy, Seth Rollins, last year when there was a beach ball during his match and he's like, Brooklyn, I'm disappointed in you.
I mean, I can understand being disappointed because it's insulting. Like if I were
insulting.
It's the difference is an in-ring performer. If someone's throwing a beach ball around during my match, then I would be personally insulted by that. It's like you're implying that you're not interested, and I take.
And I would prefer my wrestlers to not be insulted. Pete, we're going to throw it to you here. What is your stance on the beach balls?
I like the beach balls in as much as I like to see security take them away. So, and you can't have that if you don't start with the beach balls. So I'm speaking more from like baseball games right out of Fenway, and they throw them around the bleachers and they end up on the field, and the security guard comes out and they usually grab them and they just fucking rip them apart.
Yep.
Right in
A
front
wrestler
of the
did
fans
that
and
at
be
SummerSlam.
Like, and be like, you want to have some fun? Here's some fun, and they rip it apart and they put it in their pocket, and I love that.
All right.
So that was one of the biggest pops of the night.
It was maybe the
ripping
biggest. Of course it was, but we can't have. But it won't be every night if that becomes a regular thing.
True.
Cesaro just popping beach balls.
But
although that might
occasionally-
be like a fun gimmick, like no horseplay Cesaro, where Cesaro's just like doesn't allow the wave, doesn't allow beach balls. I don't know.
That's,
Pete,
how you get the crowd involved.
You might be a pro wrestling character, Pete.
Yeah. I'd like to come out in like a what are the Mexican wrestling masks called?
Luchador masks?
Yeah, it would be a luchador and just rip beach balls apart.
I can't imagine anyone listening to this podcast that doesn't regularly follow Barstool. Just they have no fucking clue what Pete's doing in here. I love it. Up next, Asuka relinquished her NXT Women's Championship and will be moving up to the main roster. She is leaving NXT undefeated. What's her streak up to now? 200-something matches? 500-something days?
500-something days, yeah.
She is one of the most dominant wrestlers in the history of WWE. That's weird
this.
to say.
I don't like this. I don't like not giving the rub to somebody.
I feel the same way.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, there's definitely a tradition in NXT where a dominant champion who's been champion for an extended period of time, they lose, everyone knows, like at the end of the match they get like a standing ovation because they know that they're about to lose that particular performer. With Asuka, I mean, like you said, it's been over 500 days and she's had a lot of entertaining matches where just it's almost like it's an extreme comparison, but it's almost like The Undertaker at WrestleMania, where you can look really good and still lose and not look bad. It doesn't hurt you for losing. Like, if you can hang with Asuka, then that's almost a rub in itself.
Yeah, it's like there's a hierarchy in the NXT women's division where Peyton Royce and Billie Kay are definitely, like, they don't hang with Asuka. They had that fatal four-way match where they could team up and hang with her, but, like, Ember Moon is very clearly above them because she can hang with Asuka.
Yes, and she should have been the one to beat Asuka.
I agree, unless you wanted to do the winner of the Mae Young Classic, whoever that is.
I don't care.
I would be okay with that.
Because that would be like essentially a no-name.
Yeah, but that's how you make a name.
I think it's too... At that point, it's forced. It's almost like trying to promote the tournament versus promote like a star.
Oh, I don't know, because if it were to take place after the tournament was over, I think it'd be promote the star.
Yeah,
and
but
it would
guarantee
help
you
the
that
tournament for sure.
It would help the tournament. It's like, next time around they'd be like, oh, so and so won, and this is, we produced the winner who took down Asuka.
Yeah, I don't love Asuka leaving NXT champ. I love it in the sense that it's like she's coming up to the main roster undefeated, and that's cool, but it's unneeded.
It would make more sense, or I would be more okay with it if she were hurt and had to relinquish the title and then came back, but on the main roster.
Also, why don't you just pull a page? Like, bring the NXT title up to the main roster. Be like, nobody's taking either fucking title off me.
Right.
And work NXT and then work main roster. Like, go back and forth. I didn't like when they made Paige give up her NXT championship when they give her the Divas title.
Brad Maddox took the NXT title off of Paige.
Oh, boy. Mario Ranallo was the play-by-play commentator for Mayweather versus McGregor this weekend in Vegas. I was out there. We did our podcast last week via Skype because I was in Vegas. I was at the fight, so I didn't hear his commentary in real time, but I've heard it 3 times since. I've watched the fight 3 times over as the combat sports analyst here at Barstool Sports, and I use that term very loosely because I'm pretty much just a fucking fan, and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But
we're all just fans here.
Yeah, have some fun, damn it. He did a really fucking great job. Did you watch the fight?
Sure did.
What did you think of Mario's commentary?
I thought he was great. I was excited to hear his voice.
Was that the first time you heard him doing boxing?
Yes. Yeah, I didn't even know that he did boxing.
Yeah,
so.
I'm actually a much bigger fan of him in combat sports than I am pro wrestling. And I like his commentary in wrestling.
Yeah.
I just think he's so good at boxing. He's very good at MMA, too.
So when I saw him, I was excited, but then, who's the other dude? Paulie
Malignaggi.
Yeah, I saw him. I was like, hey, I fucking met that guy. So
You met him?
Yeah, I told you this when I went on like.
Oh yeah.
Like Channel, I forget what it was. It was like Channel 7 or like Fox or something here in New York.
So many fucking news stations.
No,
that you forget what they are.
I'm new here.
Oh,
it was the first
big time Jared.
The first
of
and
the
only
Section
TV
10
spot.
podcast and Starting 9.
It was the first and only TV spot that I've done in New York. It was like the first week that I was here. And I went in to do like a spot about the Yankees, and they introduced me to this guy, and like there was one guy in a suit who seemed very professional, and then that dude, Paulie, he was like wearing like a fucking t-shirt and like gym shorts. I was like, oh, he must be the buddy of the dude in the suit. The dude in the suit is going on TV, obviously, because I was wearing like not a suit, but I wasn't wearing like a shirt and tie, but I was wearing like, dress pants, a dress shirt with the sport coat, whole deal. And then he's the one that goes on to do the interview. And he's like, literally, he's dressed like he's about to go for a run. I was like, what the fuck is this?
A lot of people in boxing and MMA have the mentality of like, we fucking work so hard that we don't have to wear suits. That's how Mayweather is, at least. That's why he's always wearing like track jackets. And Connor's like, you're dressed like a fucking schmuck. And he's like, I worked hard enough where I don't have to dress like you.
Yeah, it was surprising to say the least that, I looked him up after. He's got like hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram. I was like, that guy? I didn't know that.
Yep. So that was fun. That was the weekend in combat sports, at least. And you also had a big week too. Before we get into Raw and SmackDown, Starting 9, Barstool podcast, and now Facebook Live show launched. The podcast has been around for a while, but how can baseball fans watch Starting 9 on Facebook?
Yeah, so we're going to be on Monday through Thursday, 11 p.m. on Facebook Live, and then we do the Sunday show at 6 p.m. So
and
you
it's
can
sick.
catch.
It's you and Dallas Braden. Brian Wilson's been on the shows.
Came out of the woodwork. That guy's been MIA for about 3 years, and then he reappears on Starting 9. So
yeah, both of them wild outfits last night.
Yeah.
They
YP with the tweet of the night saying, they look like the two stoner security guards that are just baked out of their minds while the bank vault gets robbed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been working really hard on it,
Yep.
and we did, I don't know, like 70, 50-something test shows.
Had to be up there. I was here for most of them.
Yeah, we've been waiting a long time to launch Starting 9, but you know what else we've been waiting a long time for, Bob Fox?
What have we been waiting a long time for?
That'd be football season.
Oh,
football
that's goddamn
season.
right.
It's almost here, and there's no better way to get closer to the game you'll love than with DraftKings 1 week fantasy football. To celebrate, DraftKings is hosting a $100,000 contest that is totally free to enter, and if you draft the perfect lineup, guess how much money you can win?
I guess $100,000.
$1 billion. That's
No,
billion
hold
with
up.
a B.
I think we might have to redo this ad read. You just used that. You said billion, not million.
Oh no, that was 100% accurate. Billion.
What?
You can win $1 billion if you draft the perfect lineup. With DraftKings, of course, there are many ways to play. You can choose between the public contests with the big cash prizes or private contests where you can compete against a group of your friends. DraftKings also has beginner and casual contests where you'll play against people of a similar skill level. What would you say is your skill level?
In fantasy football?
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at fantasy football. My issue is I look at the stats, I look at the numbers. I don't know all of the players. I know my team. I'm a Redskins fan, unfortunately. Okay. But I'm not one of these guys that watches football and knows every fucking player on them. I'm not a football guy.
Right. So then you would probably be against the whole like having a draft and drafting out for an entire year, being stuck with that same roster.
Yes, that's very much what I'm against here.
Well, the best part is you can draft a new team each week without any commitment. So get to DraftKings.com now. Use the promo code ROPE to play in DraftKings free Week 1 contest with $100,000 in total prizes. And if you draft the perfect lineup, you can win, again, $1 billion. That's billion with a B. B is in boobies. $1 billion. That's promo code ROPE to play for your shot to win $1 billion Week 1. The contest is totally free to enter, so why wouldn't you try? DraftKings, the game inside the game. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Wow, that was a great read by you, Jared.
Thanks, pal.
That The fans are going to love that one.
Love it.
Definitely go to DraftKings. Definitely get in on that fucking contest.
$1 billion.
Let's talk about Raw this week.
Let's do it.
Did you enjoy Raw as a show overall?
I think it was overhyped. I was told it was like the best Raw of the year.
Oh, yeah, and you didn't watch it live.
I didn't watch it live, no.
Okay, so...
Does that deter from being able to...
No, not at all. I just... When you said it was overhyped, I was like, did they build this Raw up a lot? They didn't, but the fans did, I guess.
Yeah.
I think it was the one segment that we're going to talk about right now that really...
Oh, you want to get into this right off the top?
Well, yeah, we have to get into it from the top. ... Rope. This segment was, I guess, made all of the fans overhype this show for you because it was worth the hype.
Yeah, it was almost like it was so bad that it was good type deal.
This segment was so bad it was good?
Yeah.
You didn't like it?
Are we talking Roman Cena?
We're talking Roman Cena.
I mean, Roman was not good in this segment. I mean, so, all right. If you look at it from like a human psychology perspective, right?
Yep.
You put yourself in Roman's shoes. You know, he comes out. We have the audio, right? He comes out and tries to insult John Cena and forgets his lines.
Yeah.
Cena goes off script. Actually, let's just play it. So for the people that are listening, if you didn't happen to catch this, so that you can understand what we're talking about here.
You may not understand this because probably no one's ever told you this before, John. But you're not as big of a deal as you think you are. I don't care what you've done or what you plan to do. I've done something you'll never do. I retired The Undertaker at WrestleMania. So maybe it's not that I don't want to fight you. Maybe I just don't need to.
You don't need to fight me. You are the high exalted Roman Reigns. You are the big dog. Everybody back there knows it. Everybody out here still kind of trying to figure it out. They go back and forth with you because when they look at you, they see what I see. A cheap-ass, corporately created John Cena bootleg. He ain't the guy. Dude, you're just a guy. A guy trying so desperately to fill shoes that you never will. And the reason you won't sign that is because you know if you do, your Roman Empire...
They boo you because first of all, you suck. And second of all, it's because they see right through you. You're a phony. You're a yes man who can learn how to do anything or be anything. So if you wrap all that up, you're just a fake. Not only that, he's a part-time and fake. And I'll be damned if I don't bust my ass Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, every single week so you can hang out on the Today Show. Then jump on his big old bus. And hell, maybe I'll come to a WWE show if they pay me enough. But what are you really gonna do, John? What are you gonna do, huh? You're gonna jump off that bus with that big shovel. That's what you're gonna do, and you're gonna bury as much young talent as you can. But the thing is, the reason why you don't like me, what irritates you about me, you can't bury me, John. So now tell me this. Why would I want to lessen myself, my legacy, my bloodline to be the next John Cena when I can be the one and only Roman Reigns?
You waltz down here and use the same pathetic excuse that every other single person before you has done. You, with all your gifts and all your opportunities, you have the gall to blame me. You gotta blame me. Fine, I've been hearing that racket for 10 years and I ain't tired yet. I'm strong enough. I've been called a lot worse by a lot tougher. I was honored and privileged to earn the United States title at this stage in my career and use it as a beacon of opportunity to introduce new superstars to the WWE like Kevin Owens and AJ Styles, just to name a few. You took the U.S. title as a demotion. And you stand there and blame me. Fine, I blame you. I'm still here because you can't do your job. When it comes to this yard, you probably haven't learned it yet. There's only one rule: step up or step aside. And over the years, there's been a few to step up, but nobody to ever keep up. And then I finally hear about this one guy, the Roman Reigns, the one that can keep up. And now I look at you and I listen to you. You should be ashamed I'm a part-timer, because I can do this part-time better than you could ever do it full-time. Go ahead.
All right, so that was a great segment. I feel like Roman, so forgetting his line was bad, but he kind of held his own at some points.
He did. All right, so this might be a little bit biased because I am a CM Punk fan, like arguably the biggest CM Punk fan going.
Yep.
I think that Roman prepped for this segment by watching promos that Punk cut on Cena and promos that The Rock cut on Cena.
I got a lot of Rock vibes from this.
Yep, I got a lot of that, as in like...
But not necessarily the good, like, holy shit, he's as electrifying as The Rock. Like,
no.
I think he's trying to be The Rock here.
I don't think he's trying to be The Rock. I think he just studied who were the best to ever come at Cena on the mic.
Yep.
CM Punk and The Rock. Anyone else?
Miz is the only...
The Miz was like the one that I was thinking of, but like...
You know who actually really held their own against Cena at times was Dean Ambrose, like this time last year, in the build to No Mercy as a SmackDown pay-per-view.
Not memorable.
Not memorable, no. Very forgettable, but when you go back, it's like, oh shit, he was really good.
And even like the Miz stuff wasn't like, I'm cutting you with the knife with the mic. You know,
True,
like this is, it was funny, it was great, it was entertaining.
Punk and Rock are definitely 1A and 1B.
Yes, and I don't even think it's close. No. I don't think anyone else has ever come close in terms of coming at Cena and making like these work shoot type blurred lines promos where it's like some of this is probably scripted, but I think when Roman forgets his line and then Cena goes off script to like make a jab at him.
We just played because WWE took that out, obviously. But.
Yep, and I think that Roman went off script with him and started making real jabs at Cena. Cena started making real jabs at Roman, and that created a great segment.
Yes.
But I also think that Roman was like, fuck, like how do I adjust on the fly? Because like that's what you have to do. That's exactly what Cena said. If you're gonna be the big dog around here, you're gonna have to learn how to cut this thing called a promo, and this is what we're doing right now.
That was such a great line, and his line where he said, "There's so many Cena lines in that promo where I'm like, ooh, that was kind of fucking savage."
Yeah.
When he says, "You're not the guy, you're just a guy," I was like, oh boy, got him there. And then when he said, "I look at you and you're a cheap-ass John Cena ripoff, like corporate created."
That's exactly how wrestling fans feel.
Like, whoa, John's really going there. And then when he said, "I could do this part-time better than you could ever do it full-time, you should be ashamed that I'm a part-timer because you can't do your
job." And the U.S. title thing, too, about how
I know, he took it as a demotion.
100% right. He's 100% right. He took that U.S. title. The U.S. Open Challenge was fucking appointment television every single week. It was like, who's going to come out of the curtain? It's either going to debut
even if Raw sucked, it was like, well, at least we got.
At least you have
challenge.
That. You know you're going to have a title defense. You know that it's going to be a pay-per-view quality type match.
Yep.
Even if Cena doesn't even if you don't see a new champion that night, you know that you're going to get like a high intensity quality match. And then Roman, people, they go a little too far when it comes to Roman Reigns. People didn't like how Roman carried the U.S. title over his shoulder so that the title is actually on his back. Like, he wouldn't do that with the WWE title.
Yeah, I didn't have an issue with that.
People were trying to read through between the lines.
They were. And I loved Cena's Open Challenge. That was some of my favorite, Raw television ever. I called those Cena's indie tribute matches because he would just break out moves that he clearly saw in, a PWG YouTube video once. But Roman was maybe the most forgettable United States champion ever. He had matches with Rusev, I think. And the shitty thing about Cena's Open Challenge was that it was ended in the most forgettable fashion ever. Do you remember who beat him?
Was it Rusev?
No, it was Alberto Del Rio at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. It was like a debuting or a returning Del Rio.
Yeah,
with
I remember
Sepp
that.
Coulter.
Yeah,
beat him clean with a super kick.
Yeah, well, that was because Cena was going away though. Like that was like before time
put
off.
Put it on Tyler Breeze, who had just gotten called up to the main roster. Like, do something there.
They were trying to do something special with Del Rio.
How do you feel about this worked shoot thing? Because I thought it was really well done with Punk. I thought it was really well done with The Rock.
Yep.
And with Roman,
not so much.
There were times where I was like, don't cross that line. Like when he's like, you jump off and bury younger talent. I'm like, that's not necessary here.
Yeah, so I think because it's been used before,
yeah.
You're just rehashing some insults that have been said about Cena in the past, but Cena's been putting guys over. Like, Cena's not...
Yeah, that's not a real chirp to make at him at this point. It's like, Roman, you main evented the last 3 WrestleManias.
Yeah, and...
You are what you're saying you hate.
Yes, and with Cena... More recently, like he's still strong enough to where he's Super Cena, can win any single match against any single opponent. But motherfucker put over Kevin Owens in his first match. Was he still NXT champion at that time?
Yes, he was.
Okay, so you can't really
and
come
apparently he made like the big call to get Kevin Owens up on the main roster. He's like, I want Kevin Owens and I want to put him over.
Yeah. And, I mean, Hunter is a guy that there's been plenty of criticism over burying guys for no reason. Cena doesn't bury guys for no reason.
No. Baron Corbin, there's apparently some reasons why that happened.
I was wondering if you were going to bring this up because...
We could, because before this, and I wouldn't even say Cena buried Baron Corbin. Like, the match at SummerSlam was structured to make him look like a fucking
Baron
idiot.
Corbin.
Yes.
That flabby fucking stomached motherfucker. All right, so hold on. Let me just say this really quick. Because you're the wrestling expert. I'm a diehard wrestling fan. I watch every show. I've probably watched over 1,000 hours of professional wresting, probably more.
That's easy. I watch 1,000 a week.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I don't even know
SmackDown at this point.
Yeah, it's been like thousands of hours. Doesn't
that hurt a little bit when you say it out loud?
Think of all the things that I could have done in that time. But when it comes to Baron Corbin, I'm not high on this guy. I'm not. It's not so much the in-ring stuff. I don't believe him when he talks. And it's like there's no conviction in his words. And then we had on Badass Billy Gunn on one of our earlier episodes, and we asked him if he still watches WWE. And his response was, paraphrasing here, he's like, I basically only watch when Baron Corbin's on. I was like, he must have like a personal relationship with him because Baron Corbin can't miss TV.
No, he's not. I would assume that Corbin was like a big student of Billy Gunn's at the Performance Center.
That makes sense.
He was a coach at the time.
Yes, right.
That Corbin was coming up. I would assume it's that. So it's like, this is a guy I trained like on his way up.
I don't buy him. There's no conviction in his voice. He's
not very good on the mic. He was good on talking smack. Rest in peace. Pour one out.
Was he really?
He was better. He wasn't like, whoa, he's a good promo all of a sudden.
So do you think he's just better off the cuff versus, being fed lines?
Yeah.
But it's not even like he forgets his lines. He doesn't stutter or pause when he delivers his lines. He just delivers them very, it's weekly.
On talking smack, his promos, since they're promos that he's like writing on the fly, off the cuff, like you said, were more like, I don't give a fuck about any of this. I'm here to fight. I'm here to collect a paycheck. And I'm going to there's nobody on this roster that could beat me. So that's how it is. And on the main roster, he has like reasons for doing things. And it's just like, let him fucking be himself.
Yeah. All right. So get into the rumors because I was wondering if you were going to address them because I don't know the credibility of the website.
I don't really know the rumors that well either.
Have you heard of this website before I brought it to your attention?
Yeah, okay. Sportskeeda, I think it is, right?
I don't know.
I think it's Sportskeeda, and they have gotten a lot of things right over the past few months. They basically said that Corbin pissed John Cena off backstage by doing something.
I don't know that he pissed him off. I just think that there was something about like Cena saying he doesn't have it, and he had like a poor attitude. And
the poor attitude thing I've heard in the past, but like I've heard Baron Corbin's quote-unquote poor attitude is more that he's just a quiet guy and doesn't really talk to many people, and that's just how he is. So it's a fine line to play in the world of wrestling where politics are so fucking shitty. It's like the worst politics ever, where it's like being a quiet guy could rub somebody the wrong way, and then that's instantly John Cena's burying you at SummerSlam.
Yeah. Did you go back and watch the tape from SummerSlam? Because in the report, it said something like Cena was legitimately saying things to him in the ring at SummerSlam, being like, see all this reaction, like this isn't for you, or something like that.
Oh, yeah, he said that, but he's said the same thing for people in the past. That's when they're chanting, let's go Cena, Cena sucks.
Yeah.
Cena plays they're not saying your name. Both sides are talking about me, not you.
Yeah.
That's like, he's done that in the
Cena's
past, so.
been like kind of feisty recently.
Yeah, he's been feeling himself.
Yeah, he's been a little sassy. Sassy Cena has been around for like the last, I don't know, 3 weeks, like 2 weeks leading up to SummerSlam.
He's just being a dick.
I think it's because he knows he at this point, what's going to happen to him? Are they going to punish John Cena? They're
no,
they're going to make him work his way back up to the top.
Yeah, he's sent him back to American Grit on ABC.
He's very well established. Perhaps you've heard of John Cena, but yeah, I've noticed a little bit of a shift in his attitude, and it sort of deviates from the fun-loving, kid-friendly John Cena. Like, he's become more serious and more of like, it's almost like, I don't want to say unhinged, because
no, he's not unhinged.
The bar has been
Sounds like
set.
Something like the Michael Cole would come up to talk about Dean Ambrose.
That's what I'm saying. It's like the bar has been set for what wrestling fans expect from the term unhinged, but he's definitely stepped out of his character, not broken character, I guess, because when the situation calls for it, Cena can still bring it in terms of having like, oh shit moments on the mic. Like it's when the opponent calls for it. Like against The Rock, he had some of his best promos ever. Against Punk, best promos ever. Baron Corbin is not on that particular.
No.
I think he was just going out of his shell to teach him a lesson, and I like that.
Yeah, maybe. And I also don't think he's like Baron Corbin's beyond repair or whatever. But this Cena Reigns segment, I really loved it. There were those oh shit moments in this, and I think John Cena knows, like, all right, if we're hot-shotting this match to the next pay-per-view, no mercy, not a huge show. If I make this personal right away and immediately get into what the fans want us to get into, not just like, you're a great wrestler, I'm a great wrestler, let's do this. Let's get into the Roman Reigns has not been accepted as the face of the company, and no matter how much WWE tells you he's the face of the company, it's still John Cena.
Yep, and not only that, but he nailed it like to a T, being like, you're supposed to be the carbon copy of the next John Cena, and you're just not.
Yeah.
Like, everything that I am is the opposite of what you are and what you represent. And it goes back to the whole U.S. title thing. Like, John Cena, for as much as he does win, and it's predictable, and the 5 moves of doom and all that shit, he still cares about the next generation of stars that are coming through this company, and John Cena wants WWE to succeed long after he's gone. Reminds me of Triple H, only they've taken different paths to the success of the company after their wrestling days. John Cena is trying to help build stars, because for a decent stretch there, John Cena was the biggest star in the company, and it's really only been John Cena. You go back to the Attitude Era, there was Triple H, The Rock, Stone Cold, The Undertaker. I mean, they had
Punk for a time.
Punk, yeah, but then Triple H fucking, like during the summer of Punk, fucking Triple H buries him at SummerSlam.
That was an unbelievable...
Unacceptable. How the fuck do you beat CM Punk at that pay-per-view? So there have been guys who have sort of rivaled Cena's popularity, but in short bursts, and you've made this point before, no one has come close to the popularity of John Cena over the run that he's been on, which is over a decade now.
Do you know who I think legitimately came the closest?
It was Punk.
No.
Daniel Bryan.
No. I think it was Jeff Hardy in 2009.
No.
Yeah, Jeff Hardy was red hot. Jeff Hardy was proving that he was a draw. Like, ratings were improving, attendance was improving. They should have done Cena and Hardy at WrestleMania 25. That would have been the Hogan Warrior of our generation.
I don't know. I mean, like, obviously, like,
you go back and watch Jeff Hardy's 2009 title run, it was insane how hot he was and how over he was as a babyface.
Yeah, but I don't think it compares to Daniel Bryan leading up to WrestleMania 30.
I guess
you're
not,
just trying to be like, because you're the Daniel Bryan guy, you don't want to seem like everything that he does is great. Being like,
everything he ever did was great.
I know, but I feel like you're trying to be like, I can't say that he was the next closest to Cena. You can't.
Daniel
say
Bryan
that.
was different though. Daniel Bryan was never like close to Cena. It was more like the underdog.
He was over as fucked.
He was, but it wasn't like the Cena overness. It was like a different, like, this is our fucking guy, this is the underdog.
No one has come close to being Cena over since Cena has been that over.
True.
Unless it's like a returning guy, like The Rock comes back and he's more over than Cena.
Correct. That was great.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of Jeff Hardy, he is now the #1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship after winning a Battle Royal to open the show, and I love this.
Yep.
This is great. I don't know if he's going to win this match because it's on Raw next week. I don't know if this means he's instantly going into a singles run. I would hope so. Like, get into it sooner rather than later. He's 39 or 38, somewhere around there. I want another long Jeff Hardy title reign. I want him versus Lesnar or him versus Braun. I want, like, him in the main title picture.
Do you buy Jeff Hardy as a legitimate contender against Brock Lesnar or Braun Strowman?
Oh, yeah. I very much do.
Like, I can see...
Have him go off and have Matt become fucking broken. That's what we all want.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I don't need Brother Nero as much as I need Broken Matt.
No, not at all.
So if
then eventually down the line, you can get into that. You can do the broken feud. You could do the total deletion, final deletion, whatever.
So here's what I like about this. I was dreading once the Hardys return at WrestleMania. I was like, fuck yeah, this is awesome. Need to see a title run with them. We got it, like, pretty much right away.
Yep.
What I was dreading was once they dropped the titles, I don't even think they had the titles for longer than a month.
No, they did. They had it for a while.
They dropped the titles pretty quick.
It was like 3 months. It was like April to June. It was April to June, yeah.
When they dropped into Cesaro and Sheamus?
Yeah.
We need to look that up. I didn't think it was that long. Either way, when they dropped the tag titles, I was like, please fucking God, do not give us another Matt and Jeff feud. Like, I want to see them both go off on their own.
And if they feud, you have to do it broken. Like, every feud they've had ever as just Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy, not clicked.
Yeah, I don't know that it's not clicked. I'm just not interested in seeing it. It's not because it's poor in-ring work. It's just I'd rather not see them feud. I'd rather that's pro wrestling in a nutshell. If you break up a tag team, they have to feud with each other. Okay, whatever. But the Hardys, not interested in seeing that feud. I want to see Broken Matt. I want to see Jeff Hardy, not necessarily
also,
Brother Nero.
Put the fucking face paint back on Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
If you're back to a singles run, let's see that face paint.
Let's see it.
Let's see it.
Let's see it.
Someone actually was asking him about that this week, and he was like, you can thank Finn Balor for that. Like, kidding. And then he was like, maybe when I'm, like, off on my own. So he does it for house shows.
Does he?
Yeah. Alexa Bliss
is
once again the Raw Women's Champion because Sasha Banks, this idiot, she can't defend the title for the life of her. She can't defend the title. She's now a fucking 17-time Raw Women's Champion.
Yep.
She wins the title and she drops it every single time.
She's like
it's a running gag at this point.
She's
like, it's gotta be a rip.
4-time women's champion, but like combined has been champion for like a month and a half.
She can't have one. She's never defended the title
on Raw. Hasn't she successfully defended on pay-per-views?
I don't think she has. I don't think she has ever successfully defended that title.
I think she has a pay-per-view title defense. I think that every time that she's had a title match on Raw, she's in a title defense, she's lost.
She stinks at that, huh?
She stinks.
I got to tell you, I was happy that she put the effort in and made this a good match.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this match. Usually, and I hate this, it was the exact same thing with Paige. Towards the end of Paige's I want to say towards the end, but like her run in WWE was so short that it was like most of her run, I knew whether she was winning or losing a match by how she made her entrance. She would come out and I would be able to tell you with 100% success rate whether she would win or lose.
Yeah.
Because she would just be mad about putting people over. And that's how
Paige,
I feel
you're
about,
talking about.
Yes, but I feel the same way about Sasha in that when Sasha was having a shitty match for the title, I was like, okay, she's losing. She's not putting the effort in because she doesn't like that she's losing. I didn't feel that here. I thought she put the effort in. I thought her final sell of the DDT made me believe that finisher like more than I ever had. She spiked herself on her head.
Yeah.
And then like just went limp. It was awesome sell. My favorite sell of the week.
Why do you think this keeps happening to Sasha?
I don't fucking know. It doesn't make any sense. Like
it's a hot
whether they
potato
realize
title.
it or not, like they're pushing her down and they're kind of pushing the title down by just throwing it around nonstop, making Alexa Bliss look great. By the way,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
everything in this is making Alexa.
It's not like
look
there's
great.
no benefit to come from it. Like Alexa Bliss, it looks like, yeah, you know, I fucked up one match, but like I'll just get it back the next time, and she does.
Yeah,
she does. So I think
she's fucking awesome. By the way,
but that's
She's
the thing
so good.
is that if you're gonna do this right, if you're gonna have like the hot potato title, it should be with Alexa Bliss coming out as the strong one. Like it should be her because
I agree with that. I don't know if like the majority of the fans would agree. Sasha's still very popular.
is she though? I feel like she's gotten. I don't want to say stale.
I
but
would say she's gotten stale.
it's because
Sasha
she's
is
a face.
a babyface.
Right,
Sucks.
that's what I'm saying. Is if
Sucks.
she's a babyface, like I don't buy her as a babyface because her character is like very bitchy. Like she's supposed to be like very bitchy.
Yeah.
And you can't have like this boss ass bitch attitude and be like, all right, cheer me. It's like, no, like your character is that you're better than everyone, or you think that.
Yeah.
Even though you keep losing every time you try to defend the title.
Yeah, so after the match, Nia Jax came out to celebrate with her friend Alexa Bliss,
This
put
is
Alexa
pretty
right
funny.
up on her shoulders, and then had a clear, like they had the hard cam shot. Her face just goes from a smile to a frown.
Yeah.
And she drops Alexa with like an electric chair. I really, fingers crossed, hope this means that Alexa will become a babyface. Because I think she would kill it in that role.
Yeah.
I think she's awesome as a heel, obviously, and then like if she continues to be a heel and they do heel versus heel feud, or if they make Nia a babyface, I'm not down for that.
Nope.
But I'm very down for a face Alexa. Here's my thing. I wrote this in the blog. They have to understand this does not make Alexa Bliss a babyface.
Correct.
Just like Seth Rollins getting pedigreed did not make him a babyface.
Just like Randy Orton RKOing Shinsuke Nakamura does not make him a heel.
Correct. There needs to be a promo where Alexa has the opportunity to explain her actions over the past few months, or apologize, or do something that makes the fans like her. Because hardcore fans do like her. Casual fans view her as the bitchy heel, which she has been. Mm-hmm. She's doing a good job at that.
Yep.
If you want her to be a babyface, please make that clear, so we don't have months of like, is she a face? Is she a heel? Is she a face? Just make it clear. I'm tired of this pro wrestling. They're like, Vince is trying to push the narrative. He's like, in MMA, you just like whoever you like. So there's no baby faces. There's no heels, especially in the women's division. He was quoted as saying once, he was like, oh yeah, they're women, so they all hate each other. It's like, all right, buddy. It's 2017.
Yeah, it's time to evolve here.
I hope next week Alexa Bliss comes out and she cuts a promo where she is a babyface and she will kill it.
No, I don't want her to be a babyface.
I don't want her to be like, I love all the fans and come out like Kelly smiling and pointing at everything.
Yeah.
I want her to just be an angry, like, I'm out for fucking revenge.
Which could happen, I guess. I think for the most part it's going to be an interesting feud, but I don't want to see Nia Jax as champion.
No, definitely not.
I
think they're going to probably put the title on her like first match too.
Are you kidding me? Because then that would just be it. It's too soon for another title change.
I think it's a really bad call. I just think like the way WWE operates, I think that's what they're going to do.
No. I mean, I'm not saying like you're wrong. I'm just saying I don't want to see that.
Neither do I.
It was hilarious though. If you go back and watch it, the slow motion replay.
Alexa throwing the title behind her was the funniest part of it.
It was
she
her
just, like,
face.
let the title go.
It was her face going from like so happy to oh shit, I'm going down. Like the panic in her face was just so genuine, even though she obviously knew that was going to happen. But
yeah,
she sold it really
she's got
well.
some of the best facials in the company.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Moving
that
on to
belongs
SmackDown. Moving on to SmackDown. Before we do, actually, the Big Show shaved, by the way. He looks like a big baby. Not a fan. He looks like King Kong Bundy.
Yeah, he really does.
He's alumni, so I'm not going to talk too much shit, but grow that beard back out ASAP.
Needs it back.
SmackDown, I got 3 things I want to talk about. Shelton Benjamin is back.
Weird to just be like, all right, here he is. Like there was no like build to it. It's just
they tried to They tried to do this months ago, and rumors came up, and they aired a video package that was like Shelton Benjamin is returning. And then something happened with his medicals or something, like he got injured and couldn't pass a physical, something like that. Delayed months and months and months. And I heard at the time, like, we're looking to repackage Ziggler and put him with Benjamin, or we're looking to do something with Swagger and Benjamin. This has worked out perfectly for Chad Gable because he has a new tag team partner in Shelton Benjamin. They had one match on SmackDown against the Ascension. It was a quick match, pretty much a TV sprint, and it clicked. They clicked instantly, and I think this is a testament to how good both of them are. Shelton Benjamin just feels right in the WWE.
Yeah.
Like, he fits. There was one part where he got the hot tag in this match. He needs to work on the first third of his hot tag sequence because that's the one that'll really hype the fans up. He builds to an awesome, crescendo. But when he first gets the hot tag, he has to, like, come in almost like Seth Rollins, like, do a springboard clothesline, do something. It was a little shaky for that portion. Everything else was great. Their tag team finisher was great, where Gable pushed him into like a flatliner type deal.
Yep.
I really enjoyed all this.
Are you disappointed that we're not going to see a Chad Gable singles run?
No, because I think he works really well working off someone, and just give him time to build up. You don't have to hotshot him right away. He's a guy that he will be very, very, very successful. He's one of the best wrestlers in the company.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, he did have a couple singles matches after Jason Jordan left to be Kurt Angle's son.
Jason Jorgel.
Yeah, Jorgel. I liked him as a singles competitor. I didn't think that they were going to like push him to the moon or anything, but I was happy either way.
The Rusev match and the Styles match were both great.
Yeah.
Speaking of great AJ Styles matches, I loved the Cena and Reigns promo. This might have been my favorite moment of wrestling this week. Was AJ Styles had a U.S. Open challenge, and Ty Dillinger answered the call. Now, before Ty Dillinger could make his entrance to the ring, he got assaulted by Baron Corbin. He finally gets like one up on Baron Corbin, like hits him into the turnbuckle, and while he's down, he looks at the referee. He's like, ring the bell right now. Like, I'm doing this match. Fuck this.
Yeah, it was like a fucking Money in the Bank cash-in.
Yes, the match lasted a minute and 30 seconds, minute 40 seconds, maybe 2 minutes at the most. And I fucking loved it.
Why?
To the point, because there was such a sense of urgency from Ty Dillinger, and it made so much sense with a guy who, Ty Dillinger, to the main audience, is a newcomer. Even though he's been wrestling for all this, we know his backstory as a hardcore fans, whatever. He's a newcomer, and AJ Styles is possibly the best kayfabe wrestler in the company, and non-kayfabe too, but it made so much sense that this match was structured in a way that was like, Ty Dillinger he knows that he has to hit something big and hit it quick, and that's his only shot. It reminded me of, like, I hate to make this comparison, it reminded me of McGregor and Mayweather, in the sense that, like, Mayweather's the greatest of all time, Connor's going in there, and he knows, like, I got to get this done in the first 4 rounds, or else I'll just be done, and he'll take over. This was like a quick back and forth. They were going at 100 miles an hour the whole match. Ty got him up for the finisher at one point, the tiebreaker. It was go, 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 go. And then AJ, of course, the veteran, catches him with a calf crusher and makes Ty tap out. This was like fucking brilliant psychology for that 1 minute and 40 seconds, whatever.
Yeah, it was a good match. I mean, you don't obviously buy Ty Dillinger as a legitimate contender against AJ Styles, but they told the story.
You don't, but there were moments. He had flashes in that was like, that was a flash of brilliance. Like, he can be a contender one day if he just gets that up.
Yeah.
Loved this match.
Yeah, it was a nice little face versus face match with some storytelling.
Yes.
And then Baron Corbin obviously, still comes out and does his little hissy fit, so we're obviously going to see Styles and Corbin at some point.
Yes, we are.
Are you excited about that? You're not excited.
Yeah, I'm not excited. They had the match, the triple threat match that opened No Mercy last year with John Cena added, and that was really good. So, sure.
Paint me not excited.
Yeah, I'm not super down on Corbin. I'm pro Baron Corbin, I guess. And then finally, the main event was Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jinder Mahal and Rusev.
Wait, so timeout. Rusev tweeted on Friday night, basically implying that he was leaving the company.
Yeah, and then the rumor came out that he put in for his release.
Yeah, and Lana too.
Yeah, I never got confirmation on any of that. I guess Rusev's working people. I don't know what's going on.
So I don't know if the report came out first. And then Rusev...
I think the report did come out first.
Yeah.
And then he tweeted, thank you to WWE PR. It's been a great time.
Yeah. And then he's on
strange.
SmackDown on Tuesday. And it looks like he's, going to be in the title picture, kind of.
Yeah, I think he's just working people. So this was a fine main event. It was pretty standard. And then afterwards, Randy Orton just RKO'd Nakamura, which...
I like that.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, you can't just have
It made me interested in something that Randy Orton was doing, so...
Randy Orton doesn't have friendly feuds. It's like, hey, may the best man win. That's not Randy Orton.
He's like Triple H, I'm going to fucking kiss your wife and RKO her.
Yep.
John Cena, I'm going to punt your dad in the head and give him permanent brain damage.
Right.
Yeah, I'm cool with this. I don't think this makes Randy a heel necessarily.
No.
They could go in that direction if they wanted to. It's open, but just this doesn't make
Too
him
much
a heel.
flip-flopping with
Talking
him.
about Jinder, in the opening segment where Nakamura interrupted him and the Bollywood boys, the Singh brothers, talking, this segment, the Bollywood boys or the Singh brothers, whatever, they really shone for me. They were shining.
Kissing his feet?
When they were like, please let us kiss your feet. You are the Maharaja. I'm thinking the whole time, like, ooh, they need to turn on him at some point and become the most sympathetic baby faces on the roster. They can be fucking stars as a tag team if eventually Jinder's bossing them around telling them, do this for me. And they just look at him and they're like, no. That would be a huge pop. They're both pretty competent in the ring.
Yeah.
They're both funny on the mic. They have personalities. I think they need to really, really build up them being like Jinder's slaves, basically, and then eventually have them turn and, heighten up that SmackDown tag division with the Bollywood boys.
I don't think that they, that they're not. I don't buy them as someone that could take down the Usos or something like that.
I don't know. I watched Tyler Breeze and Fandango have a comedy match with the Usos, and I was hook, line, and sinker.
True. I'm very, very high on the Usos right now, by the way.
Usos are so good.
Big Usos guy.
This is like a career rejuvenation for them.
Yeah. I love this heel run that they've been on. Love it. But yeah, I don't know. I think when I was looking at Jinder, because I change up on Jinder so much.
I know.
Saw
bullshit.
him come out on SmackDown. I was like, you know what? This guy fucking looks like a champion. Like he just, I know people don't like. Robbie's got me down on his in-ring work, and I know that if you look at the ratings, that it's a good indication of if fans buy into the current champion. I look at Jinder and I'm like, you know what? This guy fucking looks like, because there's some guys, and I guess it's more of like the women's title. If you look at, it just looks disproportionate to their bodies when like they try to throw the title over their shoulder. It's just like way too big.
Or it's mostly the SmackDown women's title. For some reason, the Raw one always has been like, yeah, that looks normal, and the SmackDown one's always like the strap is so stiff.
Yeah, and it's just like it doesn't like look like it fits them.
Yeah.
But you put that title on Jinder, and
on
it's
a
like
fucking life-size action figure, and it fits. No shit.
This guy
Jared.
looks
Come on.
like a goddamn champion. When he's wearing like that 3-piece suit, or he comes out to the ring with the strap around his
Come on,
waist,
man.
or he's
You're
doing a
breaking my heart,
promo with
Anakin.
it over his shoulder. Like I look at that, I'm like, Jinder, that's my champion right there.
Don't say that.
India number one. India number one.
Hashtag not my champion.
Yeah.
So
Turn into a Jinder guy.
So before we get into cream of the crop, I wanted to talk to you, Jared, about my friends over at mybookie.ag, the number one rated online sports action site for 3 straight years.
Let's hear it.
So I've been watching Starting 9 every day, and I've been cashing out on the reg on the MLB action they offer every day because I've been taking your advice. I've been listening to what you're saying about certain players and all that. You can also score big on the NFL preseason and the fight of the century that just happened this Saturday. I scored big on that over. You know who's going to win, right? So put the money where your mouth is, lay down some cash, and win big today. Join thousands of online players just like me and start betting at MyBookie. Sign up, collect up to 100% bonus, and double your bankroll on the house. Just use the promo code TOPROPE to get started today. Now, I would only recommend a service to my listeners that's been good to me, and that's why I'm urging you to make your way to MyBookie. You win, they pay. You're wasting your time betting anywhere else because they have in-game live betting, the most rewarding player perks in the business, and an all-new best-in-class mobile website that makes wagering on the go a breeze. I think we were using this in Las Vegas when we were at the sports book or we were at the press conference. We want to bet on something, you go use their mobile app. It's so easy. The fucking easiest thing you could ever imagine. And unlike some other websites you might find, MyBookie offers fast, no-hassle payouts when you win. Join now, and MyBookie will match your deposit up to 100%. Use promo code TOPROPE to activate the offer. Visit mybookie.ag today or call 844-900-BETS. You play, you win, you get paid. Expert or rookie, you got to check out MyBookie. Sign up today. Cream of the crop this week is the best video package leading into a match. We had some difficulty coming up with a cream of the crop topic, so make sure you email us cream of the crop topics that you want to hear us tackle.
Or tweet us at the
or
from
tweet
the
us
top.
at from the top, or email us from the top at barstoolsports.com. This week is best video package leading into a match, and Jared, I want to hear your answer.
This wasn't even like the second you said this. I've been waiting for this one. the best video package of all time, and it's not even close. I don't even know why you had to think about this, and we don't even have the same answer. It's from John Cena versus CM Punk, Money in the Bank, 2011. The best video package of all time. Of all time. It's fucking fantastic. If you play it right now, I can like recite it word for word. Like this is so before I like switched to like Spotify for like my gym playlist, I used to like rip MP3s and put them on my iTunes. I used to have the audio from this video package on my gym playlist. Like that's how fucking good it was. And it's an all-timer. And we referenced earlier in the show about Roman Reigns probably digging into the archives for, CM Punk stuff against John Cena and The Rock stuff against John Cena. All the CM Punk stuff that this was like the pipe bomb promo. This was when he came out to the ring with the microphone or the megaphone because they kept cutting his mic off. Like these were some of the best promos in professional wrestling history, not just for Punk, by anybody.
In this video package, the narrative of the clock running out and Punk's contract expiring at midnight.
July 17th,
if he wins this,
baby.
It's fucked. Like John Cena's fired, all of that. This is a fantastic pick. It's one of my favorites. It is not my favorite, though.
It's number one.
It's not number one.
It's number one.
The My Way video package for Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock at WrestleMania 17.
Check out my melody.
Nothing beats it for me.
That's a good one.
That's one that I can recite, word for word when they're saying, Austin has won the Royal Rumble. He's going to WrestleMania. And then they have the whole narrative of Deborah brought into the equation. And he's saying, throw her out of the equation. Throw the title out of the equation. It's you and me. You got something I want. It is so fucking good. This Limp Bizkit song should be the My Way by Limp Bizkit should be the theme song for every pay-per-view ever. Every match ever should have a My Way video package. I actually made a My Way video package because, the whole package builds to Austin and Rock eventually fighting, and they show stunners and rock bottoms and people's elbows and all this. I made one for Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, a parody, because of the fact that they had the worst WrestleMania build of all time, and there was a tug of war.
Oh, yeah.
And it still hypes me up when it's like it built to a tug of war. I made the video as a joke. I'll post it on Twitter @FromTheTop. Made it as a joke, and I was still like, man, it kind of hyped me up, that fucking Limp Bizkit song. Fred Durst, shout out. So that's my pick. Make sure you tweet us your picks @FromTheTop, and there's so many worth mentioning. The Miz for WrestleMania 27 when they used "Hate Me Now" by Nas. That's one of my favorites. Obviously, as a Daniel Bryan mark, the Monster video package from him at WrestleMania 30 makes me cry. God, there's so many good ones.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
They're really even WrestleMania 30. John Cena versus Bray Wyatt. They used Legacy off Marshall Mathers LP2.
Yep. That's a good one.
That's a good one. God, there's so many. Love, love, love them. And there's actually my white whale of wrestling promos. Is there was a rumor that leading into WrestleMania 29 that they had licensed Till I Collapse by Eminem for a John Cena video package before the Rock rematch.
Yeah.
And they had to cut it due to time. And they've never released that, and I always wanted to see what that was like because I bet it was awesome.
Probably.
So this interview we have coming up, we actually haven't recorded yet at the time of this recording.
Yeah.
We're waiting. This podcast was late today because Chris Jericho is coming in, and he's going to be on Barstool Radio. So this is going to be a live interview on Barstool Radio that we're plugging into this podcast. It'll probably wind up being me, Jared, and KFC in the room with Jericho. He's out promoting his new book, No is a 4-letter word, how I failed at spelling but succeeded at life. And Paul Stanley actually did the forward to it. I'm wearing a Kiss shirt today, maybe a little suck-up move. But, yeah, so enjoy this interview with Chris Jericho. We don't know how it went yet, so if it sucked, it sucks. If it was great, shout out us.
We are back on Barstool Radio, wrapping up hour number 1. We are now joined in studio by Chris Jericho and the boys from The Top Rope, the new wrestling podcast.
I'd rather you just say Chris Jericho and the boys.
All right, there you go. That's fine.
Sounds like a 50s doo-wop group. Chris Jericho. All right.
You got a new book out. You're also on the Podcast One Network, which is where we do our business. So
yes, like I said, I heard about you guys.
and you're rocking a very, very swanky scarf.
Big scarf guy.
This scarf was bought for me by Vince McMahon himself.
Ooh,
I had
wow.
I had
Dave.
I had an issue that happened last year at SummerSlam, and then once the issue kind of was talked about and resolved, he's like, "Where's your scarf?" And I was like, "I don't feel like wearing a scarf today," because I was pissed off and I didn't want to deal with it. And he goes, "You got to wear a scarf." He goes, "Go buy yourself a scarf and charge it to me. I'll buy you a scarf." So, okay, great. I go to the computer, I go to Amazon, and I type in most expensive scarf. This is the one that popped up, and it's super soft, man. If you slept on this
it looks
thing,
soft. Oh, yeah.
it's soft. It's luxurious, and it costs a lot of money. So there you go.
Like a John Varvatos.
It is. I'm not sure if it's a Varvatos. I am a Varvatos guy.
Of course you are. You
This
look
might
like
be
you're
a
right out of the
different,
playbook.
but this one is in the stratosphere. So there you go.
By the way, pretty good fashion by me right there.
Very good.
I was
he's
impressed.
like the spokesman for John Varvatos.
I love Varvatos. Everything. Pants, shirts.
Me too.
Vests.
Big Barbados guy too.
Everything.
As I sit here in my gym shorts and my T-shirt.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
have a
man.
jacket from Barbados that is consistently people want to know where it's from, and I never tell them. I just fucking spill the beans because I don't want people wearing.
now
like,
you're in
my
trouble.
shit.
Is that the lady jacket? The one that looks like it's a chick jacket?
It's been called a ladies' jacket.
Some people have said that.
So we got the book coming out. No is a 4-letter word, and
It's out.
It's out.
It's
Okay.
out yesterday.
And we got these two dudes here who have been big WWE fans for a while now.
Well, don't you ask me, like, what's the book about? Isn't that
Yeah.
what you-
Yeah, no, I mean,
Wouldn't
let's
that be the next question?
let's hear it.
It's funny, too, because, like,
Book number 2?
Book number 4.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my God.
All right, so you just lost all your credibility as the wrestling guy.
Thank you, Dave
Okay,
Dombrowski.
So
let
the
me,
party
let
is
me
not
pick
at
up his
Napoli's
credibility
tonight.
a little bit here. How about second book?
Oh, look at that. Oh,
There
my
it
gosh.
is.
How old are you?
I was about 11 there.
And that was in 2010?
Let me
Yeah,
see
it
this.
had to be.
Are you-
For Undisputed.
Are you 18?
19.
Okay, so there you
Yep.
go. That was 2010 was Undisputed.
Bob's
there you go.
Bob's
Look at that.
19 going on like 49. He's an old. Oh, that picture's unbelievable. Cole,
Yeah.
you got to get this up on Twitter right now. at
That, I
Barstool
believe,
Radio.
is some Varvatos clothes right there, as a matter of fact, as you're looking at. Bob is his name?
Octagon Bob.
Bob's wearing kind of like street urchin clothes.
Yep.
And I'm wearing a
D-Generation
very
X
nice
hat.
vest and tie with a rolled up dress shirt. And this falls in. So let me just jump into No is a 4-letter word. I wrote it because people were always asking me, how did you make it in wrestling? How did you make it in rock and roll? How do you do these things you do? And I'd written 3 previous books, all autobiographies. And I thought, do we really need a 4th autobiography from Chris Jericho in such a short period of time? So I thought maybe I'll write a book about how I was able to make all these goals and dreams happen. So I went through and put together 20 principles, lessons that I'd learned that I had applied to helping these goals happen. And it's like the Vince McMahon principle is work hard and then work harder. The Steve Austin principle is sometimes you have to be a little bit of an asshole. The David Bowie principle, reinvent. And then there's the Gene Simmons principle, which is always dress like a star, dress for success. And as you can see in that picture, dressed to the nines, standing by my street pal friend Bob the Knob.
Yeah, and as you can see from that picture, I haven't gotten to the Gene Simmons chapter yet.
Not yet. Not you're wearing jeans. Actually, you're not. You're wearing some kind of weird gym shorts.
Just horrible shorts.
Can we just get rid of the indoor shorts, please? Can we get rid of shorts on the airplane? That to
No
me
shorts
is
on
a
an
real
airplane? Shorts,
faux pas. Not on the airplane.
Okay.
I don't want to see legs, hairy legs on an airplane. It just doesn't fit for me. So if you guys are flying later, put jeans on. Just a little advice from Chris Jericho.
What about people who take their shoes off on the plane?
That's fine. I'm a shoe
You
off.
shoe off guy.
Yeah.
Let the dogs out.
That's wild. How
That's
can you?
crazy.
You can't go shorts.
You're
and
upset.
shoes off.
You're upset
makes
about like
no
showing
sense.
my calves,
How
but I
does
can
it
show
make
my
no- how does it
toes.
make no sense?
Well, who wants to see feet?
Well, I'm wearing socks.
Who wants to smell your feet?
They're not smelly. I make sure.
I mean,
I don't think you can.
I think it's one or the other, right?
Yeah, it's one or the other. That's bananas.
Bananas. The controversy. What do you mean it's one or the other? I don't understand.
Well, you can't be like, I don't want to see your legs. You gotta. No one wants to see arms and legs on a plane, but I'm gonna show you my feet.
No, dude, don't put words in my mouth. I didn't. Fake news. Fake news.
That's not
I
fake
didn't
news.
say arms and legs. I
Legs.
said legs. And then I said, you said I didn't want to see arms and legs on a plane. But
All right, so you
can
don't want to see legs.
Show
you
your
don't want to
arms.
see hairy legs.
Well, I just don't like shorts on a plane. It's like snakes on a plane. I don't want to see them. I'm going to make a movie called
I
Shorts
gotta
on a
be
Plane.
honest. This is the most specific like pet peeve I've ever heard in my life.
I'm going to be.
You're
I've got
fine with
another.
feet.
I've
Makes
got
no
another pet
sense.
peeve. Okay, I'm going to do a movie called Shorts on a Plane. You're going to be the bad guy, and you get killed. You get killed in the first minute.
Okay, that's
Okay. So other pet peeve.
As long as I get credit.
People who don't do good autographs.
Ooh, we had a debate about this the other day. My signature, I'm working on it because it stinks at the moment.
Because I remember I used to go when I was a kid and go to a hockey game, and you'd be lucky enough to go get to meet the players or whatever. And you get them to sign the program or the poster. Then when you were done, you would look and you could pick out 4 or 5 names instantly. Wayne Gretzky, that was always a real easy one. Like Messier, and then there'd be just like guys just line,
Just
scribble. Like how doesn't help me with anything. How am I supposed to know who I got?
So, as someone I assume gets asked for autographs a ton, to me that would always be like a time issue, though. Like, so do you cut off autographs? Or you sign for everybody?
What's the
It doesn't
difference?
take that long.
If I write a line, or if I write Chris Jericho, I can do it in half a second. It's not hard to do. My name is not Bartholomew Maxwell Appleby von Crampleby III. It's Chris Jericho. You know what I mean?
A hell of a name, that other
You
one.
can even just put CJ, and at least people would know I got CJ's autograph. I'm talking about guys like Seth Rollins, bad autographer.
Oh, I've seen his autograph.
Terrible
Not good at all.
autograph. I say you can't. Jinder Mahal last night. Someone signed something that he had signed. Terrible autograph. How am I supposed to know that it's you?
Kane's autograph stinks. It's just block letters.
But at least he writes it. You can read it.
I guess.
How does
but
it
it's not
stink?
fancy. It's not fancy.
Well, it's not supposed to be fancy. You're supposed to read it.
I can do Kane's autograph
Yeah, I was
right
just
now.
saying I can
Well,
just
good.
Kane.
That means it's an easy autograph to do, and you can read it.
But then how many knockoffs are on eBay?
Well, I'm sure there's plenty, but at least you can read the knockoffs. I'd rather have a Kane fake autograph than a Seth Rollins fake autograph because at least you can read the Kane one.
I hate to throw him under the bus. My boy Kevin Owens, not a good autograph.
Terrible autograph.
Terrible.
Terrible autograph.
Just
Bad
horrible.
autograph. Like I said, Gretzky, good autograph.
Yeah. So going back to this book you got coming out,
Yeah.
you grew up and you wanted to either be a wrestler or a rock star.
No, I wanted to be
Right.
both.
So that's what I mean.
That's what I'm saying.
have accomplished
When I
to
was
the
a
point
kid,
where
I
you
wanted
are both.
I wanted to do both of those things, and you might as well have told people I wanted to go to the moon at the time.
Yeah.
People were laughing. I remember I went to church, and then my pastor says, Chris is now moving from Winnipeg to Calgary to go train to become a professional wrestler. Laughing. People laughing. In the church. It's supposed to be a positive, uplifting place. So that's the type of stuff that I faced when I was a kid. And I remember there was a quote from Paul Stanley of Kiss in this documentary that I saw 30 years ago. And he said, the only people that tell you you can't do something are the ones that have failed. I'm not going to tell you that you can't do it because I did it. You can do it. And I remember just like Paul Stanley told me that you can do it. Like you right there, Chris, right there, you can do it. So from that point forward, I was like, I'm going to be a wrestler. I'm going to be in a rock and roll band. And I don't care anybody that doesn't agree, doesn't think about it. I don't give a shit. I'm not worried about your dream or your goal. I just care about mine. And that was right at the start of it, of just eliminating all this negativity and just focusing on what I wanted to make happen.
And Fozzy, your band, had a very interesting start. It was kind of a parody at first of
Well, at
hair
first it
metal
was, yeah, and then now here we are with the #1 song on Satellite
and
Radio for
you're
the last four
like a
four
very
months. Yeah.
legitimate rock band now. How did you find the time to do that and wrestle
Well,
at the same time?
you don't do them both at the same time, and that's another question. How do you find the time? You find the time because you want to do it. It's stuff that you don't want to do that you don't have time for, and that's the thing that I think people a lot of times want to put themselves into a certain box of what they are, who they are. Okay, you are a wrestler, and that's what you do for the rest of your life, or you work in a factory and you retire at 70, get your gold watch, and then you die. I never went for that. It's like I remember reading Arnold Schwarzenegger's book where he said he wanted to be the biggest bodybuilder in the world and the biggest actor in the world when he was like 14. Everyone laughed him out of the building in his little town that he grew up in. That's the type of ambition that it proves you can do it if you commit to it and believe in yourself. And that's kind of what the book is about.
And you mentioned like reinventing yourself is one of the biggest pieces of advice that you got. You've reinvented yourself more than anyone, or better than anyone in WWE. Your most recent run, the Kevin Owens thing, where would you rank that run in terms of all of your runs and go back to WCW and anything else?
I mean, it's hard to say because that's not for me to decide what's the best run. But if you're asking, like, I like the Kevin Owens one. I like the Shawn Michaels one in 2008. The Mysterio program in 2009 was brilliant. The Rock program back in 2001 was great. So, I mean, but I'd say the top two is probably the Michaels and then the Kevin Owens. But what's the best one? That's up to the world to decide.
All right, we're going to have to break right now. When we come back, hour number 2, you're going to stick around for another segment with us?
I'm just getting started. Where
I
am I
want
going
to
to
know
go?
what wrestler Tom Brady would be. That was asked to me the other day. I had my answer, by the way.
All right,
And I got the Mayweather story, too.
we'll think about it during the break when we come back. Hour number 2 with Chris Jericho in studio, Barstool Radio on Rush 93.
Coming on down, Jericho.
We are back. Hour number 2 of Barstool Radio, joined in studio by Chris Jericho. Because you're a real jerk, you know that?
Jericho.
Yeah, it's just like, you've had, 5 different belts across the wrestling world. You got
40.
Way more
Well,
than that.
I'm saying,
Come on,
of course. But and then you got 4 books, a podcast you do twice a week. You're a wrestler and a rock star. Come on. Stop being such a
Guilty as charged.
It's just
right?
like you're an overachiever. Leave some for the rest of us, pal.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why this book is actually I read through it and go this is real overachieving, but I'm just a dumb idiot from Winnipeg, Canada. So if I can do this, definitely all you guys can do it. Well, maybe not all of you, but the majority.
That's what I say, but deep down, it's like I know I'm better than everybody else. And I know, deep down, you're like, maybe you can do it.
But you can't market that. This I can market.
Yeah,
you too can do it. No chance.
I appreciate the positivity and the idea of get the negativity out of your life and go for it. But it's also you have to be ultra talented. You have to be born with it, or you're going to fail miserably. Go quit your job and pursue your dreams, but if you stink, you're just going to be a failure.
You got a head start on a lot of this by getting into wrestling at a very young age, doing how many years of experience did you have under your belt before you even got to the WWE?
9 years.
Right.
9 years working.
Bodybuilding, and that's another, bodybuilding is a discipline type thing.
I was never really a bodybuilder. I just worked out.
Look at your fucking arms.
Well, yeah, but look at bodybuilding. You should see some of the guys in wrestling that are actual bodybuilders.
Jinder Mahal.
Lift weights. Look at that guy. I don't have that level of commitment to be at that because that's all diet type stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, the discipline once again of wanting to do it was okay. If I want to be a wrestler, I gotta work out. If I want to be a wrestler, I got to have charisma or I got to have personality.
You understand the concept of things are not handed to you. You're willing to put in the time.
Totally.
And a lot of people nowadays are just looking for a handout.
Well, and that's not going to work, exactly.
Right. And the Schwarzenegger quote, which you gave of he wanted to be the bodybuilder and the actor, great story. Yours is a great story. There's probably 10 gazillion stories of guys being I'm going to do both, and they're still working at the factory.
Exactly.
Just because they don't, because they didn't want it.
But that's right. But I'm not saying it's for everybody. But I'm saying it can be done. It can be done, which is what the point of the thing is.
Why not?
So we were talking. I'm just going to bring it up since nobody else has yet.
No, the Mayweather. We were talking about the fight during the break.
Right. So the fight, and so Bob the Knob got in a fight with Mayweather Sr. That's great. But check this out. So I'm talking to a friend of mine, and we're talking about the fight, and he's like, I was like, Mayweather's actually a pretty cool guy. I did some press with him back when he did some WWE stuff. So I remember doing the Larry King show with him. So I want to check it out. So I Google Mayweather Jericho, and a picture of us pops up in the middle of the ring. I had no recollection or memory of it whatsoever. And then I watched it, and we were literally face to face. And I'm like, hey, little man, I will knock your ass out right here, right now.
You did not remember this at all?
How can I forget about this? So then I take a picture of it, and I send it to Vince. I said, why didn't you promote Mayweather versus Jericho? We could have made $700 million.
We missed the boat.
You missed the boat.
Dude, how do you know? I'm looking at the picture right now. You're literally nose to nose.
I'm not even joking. I guess you just do so much stuff over the years that you kind of forget all these things that you do. Nose to nose, cutting a promo, and it was great. Floyd is great. And the thing about Mayweather that I love, and he said this to me, is that he understands his job is to make people want to see him get knocked out. It's the
ultimate heel.
It's the ultimate heel.
But the problem is he's kind of a heel in real life and does some things that are pretty unsavory.
Well, yeah, all I can do is tell you what my experiences was with him. He was super nice, fun, had a great time, and he said, I know that people want to see me get knocked out, and that's why I say what I say. Now, they're never going to see me get knocked out because I ain't never got knocked out. Well, he never did, but I just he learned a lot from the pro wrestling side of things.
Hell of a pro wrestler in his one match with the Big Show, too, at WrestleMania 25.
That was really good.
He's technically 51-0.
Yeah, 51-0.
And broke the Big Show's nose as well.
Legit broke his nose.
Legit broke his nose.
Did he?
Yeah.
That was a very scary segment, actually, where it was he threw 10 punches before the Big Show knew what happened, and his nose was just broken.
Well, let's not get too carried away here, Bob. Let me explain something to you. Big Show told him, punch me in the face.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let you punch me in the face. Had Big Show not wanted him to punch him in the face, Big Show would have crushed him like a little bug. Because Big Show is 6'10" and 400 pounds, and Mayweather there is tiny compared to me. And
you are dwarfing him in that picture.
That's what I meant. That's why I called him Little Man. The one and only time ever in wrestling I could use the term Little Man.
We were debating this yesterday on the show: LeBron James versus Conor McGregor in a UFC fight. Who you got?
Oh man, I guess you're talking because of the size disadvantage.
Yeah.
I'd still say Conor.
Really?
I say Conor because here's what I've noticed over the years: big guys don't know how to fight because they've never been in a fight.
Octagon Bob's flipping Dave off because we were.
The caveat to that was 2 months of training for LeBron.
2 months is not enough for Conor with a lifetime.
He's a superior athlete. and he's
Agreed.
huge.
I agree with that.
Dave, I agree, but is it the superior athlete who's bigger, or is it Conor McGregor? Who I honestly think you could punch him in the face 15 times and he wouldn't go down. I think he's that much of a stonehead that he wouldn't go down.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think the bigger problem is if they do go down, he's so much bigger, he could just kind of like lay on him.
What is Conor's specialty?
Boxing.
Boxing,
Yep.
right? So maybe he could punch LeBron in the stomach and LeBron bends over and he punches him in the face. I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah,
even,
he has legit a foot and 110 pounds on Conor.
I mean, we posted that clip of. Are you a Game of Thrones guy at all?
Absolutely.
So the Mountain, you know the Mountain,
Of course.
So what's his face?
sparred
Conor
with
McGregor
Conor.
sparred with the Mountain, and there's video of it. And the Mountain looked like if that went on, the Mountain was just going to grab him. He was that much bigger than Conor. Conor's not a big guy.
No,
Yeah,
he's
that's
not.
true. That's true.
But it is like LeBron can't get pushed on the court without like throwing a hissy fit. You think he could take a punch to the face?
Yeah, that's the right. That's the thing. Because
That's like a calls though. That's not like if he were to get mugged in the street, he'd be able to hold his own.
And also, when he plays, like humongous guys bounce off of him when he's running. I hate LeBron. He's my least favorite
I know.
human on the
I hate
planet.
that you're taking this stance.
But I have his side in this. Discussion.
Well, that's what video games are for. Let's make the video game and see what happens.
Yeah, you could create both of those people in
But then
WWE
you never know
2K18 coming out this November.
Can you?
Yeah, you can create them. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know there were characters in them.
No.
Okay.
I'm just saying. So I have a question for you.
Please.
That I was requested to ask you.
By who?
By a mutual friend of ours.
Who?
I can't say his name on the podcast.
Why?
Kevin Owens.
Okay. Thank you. Jeez, that's so hard. It's not like it's Cthulhu and he's going to come kill us.
So
The
he
thing
wanted,
that should not be asked the question.
he wanted me to ask you if you had any advice for him in the ring with Shane McMahon, because it looks like things are headed that way on SmackDown Live.
Oh, wow. Shane McMahon is, how do I put this nicely?
a crazy person.
No, not a good wrestler. In that, yes, he's crazy and he's amazing and athletic and very will do
fear.
anything, no fear. But you're talking the actual mechanics and foundation of wrestling; they aren't there. And I remember it was even last year at SummerSlam. It was a big 10 versus 10 or 5 versus 5 or something.
yeah. Survivor
Series. And so we get in the ring together, me and Shane, and we go to lock up, and he punches me in the face. I'm like, I know Shane. That's just it. He gets very hyper, and he doesn't know how to throw a punch. So he actually, boom. So then I go to lock up. He punches me in the face a second time. Okay, now that's the last one. Hits me again in the face. I roll to the floor. I'm pissed off. I slam the mat. I flip the fucking desk thing over. There's that little like edge piece. I flip the. I get back in. He punches me in the face again. I'm like, all right, throw me in the corner. Watch the boot. Watch the drop kick. He comes in the corner. I kick him right in his face. I jump in the second rope, and dude, I jumped up and gave him like a Jean-Claude Van Damme double kick, pushing out and extending right in his face. Boom, he goes down. And I'm looking at him, and he could tell he's dazed a bit. And he's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Calm the fuck down." Calm down. And he's got the big thing, like the big mouse on his face, and everything. He's real jumpy and crazy. And it's like holding on to the tail of a dragon and just kind of flipping around and doing what you can. So, good luck, Kev.
You just mentioned dragons. You said you're a Thrones guy.
I am, but here's the thing. I've been on the road since Saturday promoting the book, did signings or whatever. There was not HBO in my hotel on Sunday, so I did not see the season finale. So I'm a week behind. But I will say this: last week's show with the reveal of the ice dragon and the whole thing where they were on the ice, that was one of the best episodes I've ever seen.
Thank you.
In my life.
The nerds hated it.
Why?
They were picking it apart. Too many inconsistencies.
What's inconsistent?
And unrealistic. The amount of the travel time when Gendry ran to send the Raven, the dragons flew there. They said it all happened too soon. Who cares? We got a nice dragon.
Those are the same people that complain about wrestling. It's like, the stars. I was like, listen, dude, if I threw you to the ropes, you're not going to bounce off and run back into it. Let's just calm down, okay? There's no such thing as dragons, okay? So whatever the timing inconsistencies are, shut your fucking mouth and watch the show and have fun. That drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. It's the same thing with wrestling fans. Go, this part doesn't work and this part doesn't work. Just shut up and watch the show.
Agreed.
Just enjoy yourself. Be
love
positive, right?
Who are you rooting for in Thrones? Who you want on the Iron Throne?
The thing
when
that
it's all said and done.
The thing that I love about this is it's this great show that, like, my wife doesn't want to watch, although she's getting to know. It's Dungeons. No, it's not Dungeons and Dragons.
More to it.
Here's what's happening too. It's building up to the ultimate grand finale of the biggest heel on the show, who is Cersei, a woman, versus the biggest babyface on the show, who is Daenerys, a woman. So this whole macho, male-oriented show ends up with the two women fighting it out to decide who goes on the Iron Throne. That's where I think it's going. I love that. Anybody that doesn't like the show needs to know that's where it's going. Who's going to win? I mean, I think, would they dare end it off with the bad guys?
I hope so. I'm rooting for Cersei, and that's the type of show that, that's how it's been. There's been a lot of your fan favorite dead.
But here's another pet peeve I have, along with shorts on a plane, Dave. Bad autographs, which apparently didn't bother you guys either because you hated Kane's autograph, which you can read, which is completely stupid.
I have
in my
several
opinion.
of.
Right, okay, whatever. Then you can read them all. This is what bothers me. Okay. What was I going? What would you say?
I said I think the villain's going to win. I think Cersei's going to win it.
I can't remember.
One too many.
No, it's not that. Too many topics going on. They made the big step of killing Jon Snow, and then they bring him back to life. That bothers me more than anything, because now I'm not as emotionally invested, because I know if someone dies, they can bring him back. That happened on American Horror Story Coven. I was so into that. I wrote a song about it on the Fozzy record, Do You Want to Start a War, called Witchery. I was so into the first 5, 6, 7, 8 episodes, and then one of the witches dies. But then another one brings her back. Then this witch dies, then she comes back. They're all
like a cheap
dying.
trick.
It's a cheap trick. It doesn't even matter anymore.
Right.
Survivor Redemption Island. Same problem. They vote you off, you go to Redemption Island. It's like, you're fucking off. It's a personal game.
Right.
Once you get voted off, you're gone.
Well, how many times has somebody been buried alive in a match and they come back to life too?
Bring
come
it
on.
back to wrestling. That's kind of true.
We have oxygen tanks in the casket. But that just kind of bothers me, because then there's nothing at stake, because the worst thing is your life. Like, that's the most thing you could ever gamble. And you die and come back. It's just, well, then let's just all just jump off buildings just because it's fun, because someone's going to bring us back. So that part of Game of Thrones kind of bugged me, but they might actually go to I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they have the guts to do it.
Well, the thing is, I think George R.R. Martin might, but now it's in HBO's hands.
Well, that's actually the question. I'm not a book guy. Is the Jon Snow dying coming back, is that part of the book, or is that just TV?
I would have to imagine it's part of the book, right, Cole? I mean, I didn't read it either, but
It's
I
part of the book?
That would
if
be
it's part of the book, I'm fine by it.
But the thing is,
the book.
But the thing is, now, dude, the books are done,
right?
So they can. So it's open.
Yeah, it's open season.
These guys can do it.
And it's gotten a lot wilder since it's been open season.
But so Breaking Bad ended that way, where like the heel. Like it was a really bad ending. It was a great ending.
Great ending, yeah.
But the baby faces get destroyed in that, because the only guy that came out of that looking good was Walter White, because he dies. His family's screwed. Okay, the kid gets the
Jesse
money.
though. Jesse got
broke free from the
Gets away.
Nazis.
Yeah.
He broke free, but he saw his girlfriend die in front of him. He's got no skills.
He's
He's
been
got
raped
no
by
money.
Nazis,
He's been raped
you
by
know.
Nazis. He's a lot worse off after meeting Walter White than he was before.
yeah.
Right.
And that's my point, because Walter got into this at first to be a good person, to be a good father. Then he dies. His wife is under suspicion from the cops. His son's got blood money and no father. His other little kid grows up with no father in this tainted family with all this controversy and embarrassment surrounding them. Everyone ended up being worse off than they did before he started doing that. I just loved how they were able to take that risk on that show.
Yeah, I mean, that's how, if you were a drug kingpin and all that, that's how it would
That's how
play
it
out.
would end.
And I'm thinking, in the Game of Thrones world, if we're going to be real about it, the nastiest, evilest, cutthroat person usually...
Yeah.
I'll be fucking devastated though if that's how it is. Like
I kinda want it to
I
happen.
like lost sleep when the dragon turned to an ice.
By the
Bat.
way,
That was
you're-
so crazy. I never saw, when the dragon died, I was upset. But when I saw the Ice King looking at it, I was like, no.
You're in for a
way.
treat for the episode you missed,
Boom.
pal.
Yeah, I know.
There's-
I've already heard some stuff, but don't say it officially.
You have no idea how excited I am that you brought up Breaking Bad, because that's the only thing outside of wrestling and baseball that I know anything about.
Do you watch Better Call Saul?
I watched the first season and I have not watched the
Trust
second
me, you have to. It's just as good, but in a completely different way.
So I
It
heard they
is
brought back
unbelievable.
Gus.
Yeah, Gus, Mike, all
they
of them.
didn't bring him back. It's a prequel.
I know.
So it shows how all of them became to what they were in Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. His brother, Saul's brother, it's not Jimmy, Chuck,
Yeah.
played by Michael McKean. This season, he's got to win an Emmy. Best acting, best. So amazing.
So they're on
that
the
show.
third season now, right?
Third season, yeah.
okay.
They just ended off, and his brother is the guy who has like a phobia to electricity.
Yes.
and he's convinced that it drives him crazy, but it's not. He just has this total decline into like insanity on this season, and it's brilliant. So
I definitely have to check that out.
We are up against the break, but before I let you go, I want to ask you a question. So you talked about, the Vince McMahon principle of sometimes you got to be an asshole, or so.
that was work hard and work harder. Yeah.
Right. And you've talked about how to stay positive and all those things, but what would be the Chris Jericho principle?
There is a Chris Jericho principle, and that's you have to believe in yourself because nobody else will. If it doesn't start from you, it's not gonna infect everybody else. If you believe in yourself and believe that you can do it and know you can do it with the talent that you have and the resources that you have, nobody can stop you. And that sounds like a cliche, and I can't speak for anybody else. I can just speak for me. I always believed in myself, and to this day, to know if I'm going to do something, I'm going to make it a success because I'm not saying no, and I'm not going to take no for an answer. I'm not going to stop until it's done. So that is the Jericho principle.
And what was the Tom Brady question? What'd you want?
I wanted to know what wrestler he thought he would be. If Brady was a wrestler, which wrestler would he be? I gave my answer.
I don't really know, but
Maybe Chris Jericho, because Chris Jericho wears the trunks that say "goat" on the ass.
Well, it's funny. Did you see I guess when that happened when he won the Super Bowl? Did you see when I put Tom Brady on the list?
Yes, I did.
It was great. It was so ridiculous. Like, you know what happens, Tom Brady, when you call yourself the GOAT, but you're really not. You know what happens, Tom Brady? You just made the list. And it's like the dumbest thing ever. But
The
man,
list is unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's such a great running joke. It's
I've
perfect.
never know.
I've actually stolen it, and it's now my gimmick here is you just got challenged to the octagon by me.
Jeez, man, you're just all
stole
over the
your
place
gimmick.
here.
Yeah.
I thought
Bob the
that I
Knob.
thought Dave was the asshole of the show, but it's turned out to be Bob the Knob here.
Yep, stole your gimmick.
All right, man. Well, I'm just calling you Bob the Knob from now on.
I like it.
So there you go. You stole my gimmick. I'm giving.
Wait, hold on,
the
time
universe
out.
a gimmick.
Did you know that you blocked Bob the Knob on Twitter?
Because
yeah,
he seems like the type of wrestling fan that says something really stupid.
What did you say?
Definitely.
Big E said, "Here, do I have?"
First of all, what's
the
on your shirt? Are those
Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity Pebbles with like some weirdo in a mask on it.
So
Who?
This guy's podcast co-host.
You're not wearing a. What did you say? That's my show. I'm not great. I just wanted to hear what you said.
This guy's name is Trill Withers.
Okay. That's okay. Cool. Gotcha.
So
Wait, what did you say to get blocked?
Big E tweeted, when a guy who looks like a cool dad that keeps the liquor cabinet unlocked drops Fetty lines, it's time to stop listening to that said rapper. And I said that Chris Jericho got owned so bad that he had to delete his Twitter.
And Jericho
Block
just
City.
said,
Are you Robbie Fox?
Yeah, this is me. Block City.
I don't know. I was probably drunker, so I would never block you for
hey,
that. And I'll tell you what, I'll unblock. That's not even bad.
It was all full circle. You posted a drawing of mine. So there you go.
Bob,
this
you're
year.
such a
This year.
fucking wrestling
You
nerd.
and- Kevin Owens' Burt Nerd. Did you see
Big.
that one?
That's a great one.
Yeah, it was
Is that
my
yours?
drawing. Yep.
Big E's insult. I should have blocked Big E for a lame insult. That's terrible.
I thought it was a funny insult.
Well, of course you did, because you're a dumb idiot.
All right, so the book is out now. No is a 4-letter word.
You must read it. Buy it now.
Listen.
I'm envisioning myself doing a full worldwide tour with No is a 4-letter word motivational speaking, because I saw Dan Rather yesterday, and when he asked me what I was doing, I told him I had a book. He asked me the title. I told him, he said, that's a sellable name. That is a sellable
Dan Rather
name.
says
If
it.
Dan Rather says it, then I'm using it, man. I'm taking it all the way.
Amen. Thank you for coming by, Chris. We appreciate it. We'll be back after the break on Barstool Radio.
All right, so we want to thank Chris Jericho, the Ayatollah of rock and roll, a Y2J himself, for coming by the Barstool office today. It'd be pretty funny if he doesn't show up, because as we're recording this right now, we still haven't done the interview.
Yep.
That hasn't
It's
happened
like
yet.
an hour and a half or something.
Yeah. It would be funny if he
Thanks
just
for
stood us
coming
up.
on, though, Chris. It was awesome.
Yeah, love that interview. Love that thing that you talked about, and we had so many laughs together.
Yeah. When that part where he said the thing and it was like,
I was like, wow, I didn't think he felt that way, but now we know
yeah,
he does.
and when he was talking about wrestling was like, whoa.
Yeah, and then he was like, oh, the thing about the band that he's in.
Fozzy.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's interesting.
So make sure you follow us at From the Top on Twitter and Instagram. Shout out Nick Buono, killing it every fucking week. And email us at fromthetop@barstoolsports.com. Subscribe on iTunes. Send us your reviews, motherfuckers. Give us that 5 stars. Give us that 5 1/4. Give us that 6 1/4. Give us all of it. This has been it for From the Top Rope this week. Join us next week. See ya.
Peace out, grapple fucks. That's the first grapple fuck mention of the show. You're slipping, Robbie.